Welcome to Essay Today for October 23rd. I'm Anna Giles, in for Brian Chung. Tonight we begin a series of interviews with essay presidential candidates. PJ Alampi sat down with Brian for an interview, and later Allie Curtis will join us in the studio. But first, a report from the Student Association meeting. The Syracuse Police Department and the Department of Public Safety have joined forces to keep students safe. The Dome has increased security, and SA members want in on the action too. DPS Advisory Board member Belen Chris has announced a plan to create a mobile app or website that would package phone numbers for shuttle services and campus police into one location. The new technology would also provide the nearest bus route and pickup times. Chris said the app would allow students to contact safety officials without having to use multiple sources of information.
What we're hoping for is that it would just be a quick, easy way for students to figure out what their options are to get home and what their options are when they need to call DPS. If they forget the number, they can just hop right onto this app or this link and just see what they can do.
Now, an official launch date has not been announced for the new app or website, and CRISP has also been working closely with DPS officers to set up twice-a-month meetings between student SA members and DPS officers to discuss safety issues. Dates are not official yet, but the meetings would be on Sundays in the Office of Student Activities in the Shine Student Center. Three new members were appointed to the SA Finance Board, but many SA members say they didn't have enough previous financial experience. The new members will have a say on how the SU student fee is spent. President Dylan Lustig says the new members need to get up to speed as soon as possible.
In general, these finance board members need to know what they're doing before they come in. The assembly is pretty harsh on candidates in general, so they expect them to know what's going on.
Lustig says the election of the new members won't affect the daily operations of the Finance Board. And in other business, students can now access the New York Times online by visiting www.nytimes.com/passes and creating an account with their SU email. 650 online accounts are available for students to use daily. Students have access to an account for 24 hours before it needs to be renewed. And coming up next on Essay Today, Brian Chung will have all you need to know about presidential candidate PJ Alampi. We'll be right back.
We are different. Society should aspire to be more like us.
Be part of the first class. Get energized. Get outside.
Hold on, guys. It's gonna get bumpy.
And get moving. Experience the power of physical activity. Join the movement at ActionHeroAlliance.com.
Now, some action from the courts. Billie Jean King renewing her rivalry with Arthritis. First set, curious volley, and right to the net for a winner. Beautiful forehand there. Arthritis, stunned. And here, match point. Billie Jean with the ace, taking it in straight sets. Afterwards, a jubilant Billie Jean King.
Tennis is a weapon for me with arthritis. There's nothing like it for me to hit a ball, run to the ball, anytime, any court. I'm ready. Let's go.
What's your weapon against arthritis? Find out at fightarthritispain.org.
Bring this week.
Welcome back. PJ Alampi was the first person to announce his candidacy for SA president. He's a junior film major from Glen Ridge, New Jersey. Alampi has been a part of the Student Life Committee, the Board of Elections and Membership Committee, and he's also helped create the Food Advisory Board outside of SA. Well, outside of SA, he's also a resident advisor, U100 tour guide, and a first-year player mentor. Brian Chung caught up with PJ this weekend.
Everybody, I'm sitting here with SA candidate PJ Alampi. PJ, welcome.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, so you were the first one to announce your candidacy for president. And why did you decide that maybe this was the next step for you?
Well, I mean, my involvement within SA has been very extensive. I started off as a first-year student, getting involved right off the bat. Allie Curtis, who's another candidate, actually, she was the reason why I kind of got involved. We both lived in the same community. She kind of dragged me into my first meeting, and that's kind of where it all began. My involvement then later went into, the Board of Elections and Membership, where I then became the chair during my sophomore year, and that's where I kind of learned more about elections and how the process works out. There, actually, we reached our highest voter turnout, which was 26.1%. And hopefully this year, we even surpassed that record. And then this year, I kind of just got to the point where I was like, maybe I can actually make the change and be a part of the larger picture. As president, maybe I can actually be a part of what the whole experience is for the entire assembly and the university as a whole.
Right. So when you made the announcement in Shine, you had that huge flash mob, and you talked a little bit about connecting CUSE. What exactly is connecting CUSE?
Sure. Connecting CUSE is the idea that we really need to come together as a community. We break down into our residence halls, our organizations, our friend groups, but we're really so much more because we wouldn't be able to be here on campus unless we were Syracuse University. So the idea that we are Syracuse, we need to connect as CUSE.
And what kinds of things do you hope to initiate in bridging the gap between students and maybe student association?
It's a great question, and that's where it kind of falls into place. SA needs to better understand student organizations. They need to better understand students, and that's through really connecting with those organizations and attending events and talking to students. Because we can sit in our office and we can have students come to us and ask us questions, but if we don't take a proactive approach on things, we're not going to understand issues. If we don't actually talk to students about these issues, they're not going to come up.
One of the things that you talked about is maybe having a not so much leaving all the topics to be discussed just in SA meetings, but actually send SA representatives out into the field and try to talk to students. Explain a little more about that.
It's the idea of kind of taking it to the students. So within an SA meeting, we allot a certain amount of time to have students talk in the gallery and speak up about what their issues are. And I hope to actually just take the assembly out of the meeting. It's very non-traditional, I understand that, and it hasn't been done before, but what I want to do is just take everyone outside the meeting, go to Bird Library, go to, I don't know, maybe a food place on campus and just say, we're here, we're available. Scour the entire place, find an issue, see what's going on. If there isn't an issue, talk to a student about what's going on in their life.
What is a problem that maybe you might see in SA right now, and how do you plan on resolving it?
A great problem I have to say with NSA is the inner working of our system. I think that when it comes down to how we engage within our organization, I really hope to actually work within student engagement to actually have them understand a redefining of that committee. It's all about, right now it's all about working with student organizations, but then also they pick up a lot of different other organizations, they pick up a lot of other initiatives. So I actually hope to work with student engagement to have them work on other things such as, take fully on Impact Week, which is a Dylan Lustig initiative, and then work more with community service-based ideas. So kind of restructuring our committees to define themselves more as a whole.
Talking about the actual election itself, it's getting a little heated. There are 3 other candidates that have entered the election. If you could tell the students what differentiates you from the other candidate, what makes you particularly qualified to be the next SA president?
Well, I think what really defines me is my personality and my character. I feel that my experience within SA is very extensive, and I could go on for hours about things that I've done, but I don't think that defines me as an individual. I think what defines me is my commitment to the organization, defines me as my commitment to the university. But it's all about my commitment to the pride and respect of the university, and I believe that in the end, I love the school as a whole, and I really understand it, and I hope that I can show that through the work that I've done and also the work that I will continue to do.
Right, sounds good. All right, PJ Alampi, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Much.
Nice talking with you.
Thank you.
All right.
Next on SA Today, presidential candidate Allie Curtis will be joining us live in the studio. Don't go away.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back. Allie Curtis is a junior public relations and political science major from East Greenwich, Rhode Island. She's the current vice president of SA, and outside of SA, she's the co-president of 2014 Class Council, and she hosts OTN's music show Loud and Clear, and is an active member of Greek Life. She joins us now in the studio. Allie, welcome.
Thanks, Anna. It's great to be here today.
Thanks, Allie. So can you tell us a little bit about what your slogan is for this campaign and what it means?
Absolutely. Well, my slogan is Keep the Veep, and essentially what that means is it's all about voting your current vice president into the office of president. Just as being vice president, I've really been up there and been active with Dylan Lustig and getting students involved and excited about SA. And because of my position and being so close to that position of president, I mean, there's only really one difference between the two of us, and that's he leads the meetings, and if he's not there, then I'm there to step in. But we both take on our own tasks and our own initiatives, and I have a lot of good experience, of course, in this past year with being at the forefront of the organization. So it's really making sure students are informed on the position that they're voting for, and knowing that I do have a significant amount of experience in being the head of the student association.
Mm-hmm. So you've mentioned that you've had, a good connection with Dylan Lustig. And do you think, your position as vice president gives you an advantage in the election?
I think it does, in the sense, of course, where it comes from experience. Everyone has their own experiences, and everyone's very experienced in their own ways. And everyone has a unique, different aspect they can bring to this election and to their candidacy. But mine is most closely related to the position for which we're all running. So I think that definitely says a lot in itself, and it speaks miles on behalf of what I've done and what I plan to do with the organization.
Mm-hmm. So if a student were to ask you, what are your goals and what can you do for me, basically, what would your reply be?
Right, well, my biggest thing is at the end of the day, we're students helping students. And this is something Dylan Lustig and I have been very passionate about. We're not student politicians, but we're student advocates. And we want to be the friends that students can reach out to on campus, whether or not people are, connected to us as friends or as acquaintances. We want people to be able to reach out to us and say, hey, I'm having a problem, and be that student that they can turn to when they're looking for someone who will get down to that issue at the end of the day. As far as what I'm offering as a platform, I'm better connecting the students to administration. I think the students, at least within our organization, need to be better connected to the deans of their home colleges and such, and a lot of students haven't made these connections, which are really going to make the difference in initiatives and getting things done at the end of the day. Making sure we're fully represented, of course, across all campus. We want, everything from ESF to visual and performing arts to Whitman to the iSchool to architecture, everyone to be equally represented and their voices to be heard. And then on top of that all, I'm working on bettering the internship program that actually will provide more internships for our underclassmen, because we have so many talented and brilliant students here at Syracuse. It's a shame to see students have struggles with this, and of course graduating seniors having struggles getting jobs, and hopefully setting this up will make Syracuse much more successful on the whole.
Mm-hmm. So my last question for you, Allie, is something that I find very interesting, is that you are the only female candidate and have been one of the only female candidates in years. So how does that make you feel?
I think it's, it's very empowering. It's definitely different. We have, there's a different kind of chemistry when you throw a female into the race, but I think it's exciting, and other girls can get excited about that as well, and know that somebody out there is experiencing the same things as them, and I definitely bring something different to my candidacy, but something exciting and something that people as well should be excited about.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Allie. We appreciate your input.
Thanks.
That was Allie Curtis, and thanks for joining us. And thanks for joining. That's all for tonight here on SA Today. I'm Anna Giles, and we hope to see you back here next week for another edition of the show. Have a great night. Have a great night, Syracuse.